poets, pundits, prophets, polymaths, practitioners, and peers. I said practitioners and peers.
Practitioners.
Welcome to our global classroom. This is the Good Culture Show. I'm your boy, Sho Baraka. I'm here with my man, Jeremiah Branch.
Come on, what's up?
We are here in Atlanta in the My Boulevard studios. And today we are happy to discuss Christian hip hop and hip hop to some degree, just hip hop in general, but hip hop past, present, and future. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just excited just to talk about all things hip hop.
Word.
Whether it be music, some of our favorites, some people who we think are underrated, the state of hip hop right now, what we think, how we got into Christian hip hop, the state of it today, where we think it may be going, just a little bit of all that, some people that we should be listening to. One thing I realized, I did a video some months ago and a lot of people got mad at me. And I realized and I've learned that maybe I should tap in a little bit more. But that does not excuse all these jokers who I was talking to, who I think the video was very poignant to, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, I am a little unseasoned when it comes to, I'm a seasoned individual because my hair is gray, but
that's crazy.
When it comes to
got the salt and pepper seasoning.
Yeah, I got that. This is salt, a little salt in me. So anyway, Jay, how are you feeling about this discussion?
I feel good. One, I don't know if we have it, but if possible, the 10 things, because I think either way you made great points that would be good conversation starters.
You want me to pull it up and have a discussion on it?
Yeah, I feel like that would be a good thing.
Let's do it.
What I'm saying?
Let's do it. I'm gonna have to find the file. The actual list I wrote down.
Yeah. But in general, excited for the conversation, excited for the guests we have. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah. So I do have it right here. So overall, I'm excited about this conversation. Let me talk about how I got into Christian hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you about how I got into it.
Yes, sir. That's what I was gonna ask. I want to hear.
Go ahead and ask me the question.
So how did you, the great legend Sho Baraka?
First of all, some people don't see me as a legend, and we're gonna have to change that by the end of this conversation.
We're gonna change the narrative.
We're gonna change the narrative.
Come on.
I'm a legend.
Literally, are you gonna put out a late deluxe to your album, The Narrative?
No, I'm okay with not being a legend.
That's crazy.
But I would like to. I'm gonna be up like on some Katy Perry, not Katy Perry. Yeah, Katy Perry. Taylor Swift.
There we go.
I got the white women mixed up.
That's crazy. You gonna have your Eras tour?
Well, no. I'm a remake all my songs and put them out there. Songs that I don't have ownership to.
There we go.
Albums that I don't have ownership to.
The show version. What is it? They said Taylor's version. Yeah, the show.
Taylor, yep.
Amisho's version.
The Baraka version.
The Baraka version. There we go.
And so that'll be. So I have the rights to Talent in 10th, so I can do whatever I want to that.
Right.
I can do whatever for the most part to narrative, but it's Lions and Liars and Turn My Life Up that I don't. And so I'm gonna try to figure out how to make like a grand remix album that
so
takes bits and pieces.
Grand remix album, probably some more content that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
When do you foresee you getting the greatest hits album? Because that's like obligatory. Unless you happen to die early, it'll happen. I mean, even then, it happens after you die.
With all due
the greatest hits?
With all due respect, I think the best that I can do is maybe an essentials.
I don't think those like Apple Music playlists.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a greatest.
This is Sho Baraka.
I don't think I actually have any hits. If you want to be, I got like
crazy.
Maybe if there's a hit that I have, and I'm not trying to be like self-deprecating at all. I'm just being real. If there's a song that's a hit, it's probably We Can Be More. That's probably the only song that I think made like significant impact in spaces outside of Christian hip hop.
Yeah. I mean,
I've had other songs.
I was going to say, I was thinking more relative.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So if we're talking about like greatest hits within just the Christian hip hop circle, yeah, I think I can go through a list of songs and say this song's definitely gonna be on there. This song's gonna be on there.
Okay, well maybe that'll be a fun exercise for another time.
Yeah,
but how did you get into Christian hip hop to begin with?
So I came to know the Lord in college. My brother, Dahadi Lewis, who's a pastor here at Blueprint Church, works at the Boulevard Network. He is older than me. Yeah, big Boulevard. Go to myboulevard.co and learn more about what we're doing.
Absolutely.
He's older than me, and he came to know the Lord, and he was always somebody who I just looked up to. Um, but when he became a Christian, I was kind of like, oh, this is about to be weird. Because I love this dude. I look up to him, and now like I can't be myself around him. And I was trying to live my life because I was in high school and he was in college. And then I graduated high school, and my mom was like, you have to go spend like you can't stay here. You need to go spend a summer with your brother on your way to college. And I was like, this bleep is gonna have me all in discipleship meetings, and because he used to try to share the gospel with me, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Well, cool. That's
yeah,
dope.
that's good.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you. That's good for you.
Right.
That's good for you. That's good for you. And so the summer I went to go stay with him. I stayed in Oklahoma first, made some money, but then the second half of the summer I stayed with my brother, and he literally had me in like discipleship groups. I was going to their Bible studies that the college ministry had. And you know what's crazy? I kind of enjoyed it. Like it was a different atmosphere. It deconstructed all the misnomers I had about Christian youth, or especially college age Christians, because these were people who, like, this was during the time when I think it was God's Property.
Okay.
Was because God Property went to the same school as him in North Texas, University of North Texas. So it was that kind of culture of Christian. And I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, I know you love hip hop. I want to give you 2 CDs. He gave me The Grits, Factors of the Seven. Why you laughing, dude?
No, that's just crazy. That's that's a throwback.
I was about to say, you're not a Grits fan?
You gotta be tapped in. You had to have been tapped in for a long time to know it.
Ooh, ooh, my life be like one of these days.
Come back though.
Yeah, they did. They did a little something nice. We're gonna have to throw some next time, some videos when we mention. Throw them up on the screen. And then he also gave me Heaven's Mentality by these brothers right here.
The legends.
The legends.
Yeah.
All respect
That's
to
an insider.
all respect to the old Brady, but to the legends, especially my dude in the middle, Official, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
My brother, my DJ. He gave me that CD, and although I like the Grits, the movement really like stuck to me. And I wasn't even a Christian, but I listened to their music. And I remember I was a freshman in college. I had a bunch of roommates, a bunch of homeboys who we were all from different parts of the country. And when we would ride around in my car, I would play Cross Movement sometimes. And here I am, a non-Christian with non-Christian friends, going in and out from like Common to like Tribe, and then I throw Cross Movement in, and they would always be like, "Nigga, what you doing, bro? Like, why are we listening to Cross Movement, bro?" I'd be like, I don't know, I just like it.
It just feels like conscious.
It just feels like it's conscious music, my dude. It's that good conscious music. And then so I listened to Cross Movement all that year. Grits. Went back to Texas to stay another summer with my brother, but I worked a job, and now this time the discipleship groups and the meetings started to stick a little bit more. They started to hit me a little bit more. And my brother always used to talk about Impact Conference here in Atlanta. Go to Impact Conference. It's happening this year. You should come. And so I went to the first and he was also promised me go to a Bible study. So I started going to a Bible study. I didn't like the Bible study I was going to, went to a different Bible study. First day at this particular Bible study, they show a promo video for Impact Conference.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there just like, oh, yo, this is the one my brother be talking about. And not only did they show a video of Impact Conference, in the video is the Cross Movement performing. He's they will be performing at this year's Impact. And I was like, yo, that's the dudes I like right there. So I walk up to my man afterwards, Byron Johnson, much love to BJ, bad culture. And so I told him that I was like, yo, I ain't got no money, but I wanna go to this conference. And he was like, well, I don't know you, so I'm gonna need you to keep coming and we'll see what we can do. Kept coming. He ended up giving me a scholarship to go to this Impact Conference. Impact Cross Movement performed first night. James White preached the gospel. Fell in love with Jesus. That was it. After that, I went to like the bookstores, bought all Christian hip hop CDs. Was it Market of East was popping back then, which was like a compilation of East Coast rappers. Corey Red and Precise.
Yep.
I started digging into like the Tunnel Rats. It was just a
That's
whole
crazy.
bunch of folks in. So that's how I came into Christian hip hop music. I would ask you how you came into it, but I think we all know the answer to that. But go ahead for the folks who may not know.
So there's this group called the Cross Movement. My pops, the ambassador. He's yes,
him whom I'm well pleased.
I was born into the genre. There you go. By grace.
Amen.
Yeah.
So people know that I rap, but
that's crazy.
you just
you teasing them because there's nothing. We got nothing to show them.
I mean, you can get you know something off the top of your head.
Off the top of my
you
head.
got some like you memorized.
Nah,
you ain't got. Look at you. Come on.
Not my
So let me
time.
tell you. Have you ever seen? Have y'all ever seen that video where Will Smith got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air job? You ever seen where he talks about how he got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Nope.
All right. So basically, and I'm not gonna butcher it. It's a wonderful story. So if you ever go on YouTube, search Will Smith how he got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So he's at party. He's hanging out. He's struggling at this point because he's broke. He's literally broke, but he's still trying to fraternize with wealthy people. So he goes to this party. Quincy Jones is there. Quincy Jones is like, I got a perfect role for you, my man. And he's like, oh, word. He's like, yeah, I got this script. He literally pulls the script out right now. He says, read it. So Will is like, okay, cool. So he's like, yeah, I dig this. He's like, all right, such and such is here from NBC. I need you to do like a performance right now for him. And Will's like, nah, I'm cool. Like, let me go home. Listen,
Right.
like, ruminate over the script. I'll come back. And he says, Quincy Jones just goes off on him. Basically, it's like, brother, if you gonna work with that kind of attitude, you ain't gonna never make it. He said,
that's crazy.
I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, and then we're gonna be in this living room,
Mhm.
and you need to come in here and read this script for us.
That's crazy.
And he said, 10 minutes later, he did it, blew him out the water.
That's amazing.
Are you ready to do a little verse for us?
You got something for me? You got a job for me?
I got fans for you. I got people
That's
who
crazy.
will support you after you release this hot fire, Dylan.
Excellent, man. One day I will.
Okay.
I promise.
See, you know what? Some people don't want to be great, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Some
That's
people just don't
crazy.
want to be great.
The road to great is different, in the world for the Fresh Princes than it is in the kingdom. So
some people don't want to be righteous. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? What about don't want to be great in the
some
kingdom?
people don't want to be put on the spot.
Some people don't. So, do you want to go into these lists of 10 things?
Before we do,
right.
I actually wanted to. You noted some things in your own story, your interaction with hip hop and specifically Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
One, what was it about Cross Movement that stuck with you? I think it's very interesting. It was music that, as an unbeliever, you felt comfortable to smoke to or to play with your.
That may not be a good thing, actually, but yes.
Well, but that's going to get into the question. And to play with your unbelieving friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the lyrics spoke to you in a way that helped prime the pump for
regeneration.
Yeah, regeneration and salvation.
Absolutely.
And I think that usually, the common critique is it's one or the other. But I do think you're gonna find, especially in today's day and age, someone that might say, "Yeah, I don't want to do the music that's going to be evangelistic because I want music that you could play around your unbelieving friends and they can smoke too."
That's
So one, what stuck out about Cross Movement that made it good for both, and good for you, and then two, what are your thoughts on that dichotomy?
Before I get in that question, I want to encourage people. Hey, if you're watching, I don't know how many people watching, doesn't matter. Don't tell me. Comment. We're going to add, if you have questions, I want to answer those questions. Jeremiah, I can answer those questions for you. And we may even allow some people to jump on the live stream with us.
That would be dope.
Yeah. So if you want to join the live stream, hey, we'll do that. If you have questions, throw questions at us. So I'll reiterate that every now and then. In about 40 minutes, my man DJ Wado, the Christian hip hop DJ himself, the DJ Wado, brother, is a treasure trove of knowledge and information, but also a wonderful DJ. A lot of these DJs out here just spacebar DJs. They just hit a tab but this brother, he's an actual DJ. So to answer your question, you're gonna have to remind me of some of that. But I think one of the things that I recognize about their music is, and this is, I've said this maybe on a couple, I don't know if it was a live stream or not, and this is no shot to like a lot of the Christian hip hop that was around before, like around when your father and them kind of started to boom. It just didn't feel authentically in the culture. It felt like it was a, you know, a parasite of the culture. It felt like it was possibly good theology and good teaching, but the music didn't stick. I remember a friend gave me a I'm just gonna have to be real. A friend gave me a DC Talk album when I was in high school. He was a Christian, and at the time I didn't know who DC Talk was, but I just remember we met years after I became a Christian. I was like, "Yo, what? Remember that time you gave me that CD and I threw it out the car?"
That's crazy.
Because he was like, "Yo, I know you like Biggie. I know you like Tribe Called Quest. I know you like all these. Yo, you should listen to this." And I was like,
"Oh, that's a crazy comparison."
I was like, "Sir,
it's
nowhere near." And so he set them up
lanes,
for failure.
Different lanes.
He set them up for failure. It wasn't that their music was
Biggie
terrible.
and Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, it wasn't that their music. So, you know, Toby and all y'all, even though you're on my masters, Toby and all the, like, you know, your music was probably amazing. Your man set you up for failure. And so I was like, nah, this is not my type of hip hop.
Right.
And so
reasonably, when it's just not your type of hip hop, you just throw it out.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah. And so when I listened to the Cross movement, I felt like, you know, because Wu-Tang was popping, and I remember what's going on with this new thing looking like a Christian Wu-Tang. And I was like, well, all right. And then the skits, not the skits, but the monologues or the interludes in between songs where they're talking, I was like, yo, this feels like authentic. It doesn't feel like they're faking. And the analogies and the metaphors were solid. They were talking about things that were indelible to my heart. You're talking about like marches to Washington are nothing but long trips, prayer mail being sent to heaven with the wrong zip. And I was like, yo, it's a thriller in Manila, Jesus Christ versus every man's killer. And I'm sitting there just thinking like, yo, they not only are they authentically in the culture, they are like reckless. Like they're about that business and want all the smoke, calling out people. And there was this other part, and this is why I think this goes into the why I think I didn't feel like it was anything obtuse with me sharing it with my friends, is because we all listen to conscious music anyway. We were a conscious group. We weren't listening to like, you know, the New Orleans, my man Master P. We didn't listen to Master P. We didn't listen to gangster hip hop or more of your hard stuff. We were listening to a lot of, and if go even deeper into the crates, Chino XLs, the Razzcazz, the you know, I'm drawing a blank because I'm old.
That's crazy.
But on the West Coast, for my West Coast heads, you know, like Hieroglyphics, Far Side, like, you know, Project Blow. That was conscious down underground hip hop. And so Cross movement, because they were talking about something of substance, even though it may have been conflicting to our religious beliefs, it still felt like it's something of substance.
Right. Yeah.
And even if you don't believe in the ends of what they're talking about, you can agree that when they're talking about misogyny or when they're talking about, you know, ignorance and murder and violence, you can rock with that part. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, man. And the music was legit. I will say it was probably a couple years behind mainstream hip hop, but it was still legit enough for folks to be like, oh no, I can mess with this. And so I really do think that was a huge part of my regeneration, the Lord calling me and snatching me up, was Christian hip hop. That's why to this day, I will always show respect to Cross Movement, to other artists and groups that came before. Even though I didn't listen to folks like T-Bone, I showed them respect. Like if you were out there being a pillar and trying to make Jesus known and not trying to integrate into culture, and, you know, and let me change that, because I don't think integrating is wrong. Become ensnared by the culture in order to forfeit the things that you ensnared.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry, and forfeit your faith. You know what I mean? Forfeit your fidelity for the Lord. Then I respect and honor that, and I expect it even today. And I don't think that everybody who's trying to do mainstream work is doing that, but I think there are a lot are. And we could talk about this later. It's no shock to me that half of the people that I came up with in the Christian hip hop business are no longer even Christians because they didn't get the status and the success that they wanted. And because they put their faith in institutions and people and scenarios and not truly in Jesus, when those institutions, people, and scenarios didn't bring them fulfillment, it's like, well, I can find fulfillment in other places. And that to me breaks my heart. And there's a many of folks, we were listening to a lot of Christian hip hop in honor of this conversation. And as I'm listening to all these albums I'm running, like mostly people from like that late 2000s and 2010s. Like I was just counting off, like that brother's no longer. I don't know if he's no longer. I mean, he may still be a Christian, but I really can't tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so. Oh, he's deconstructed, but praise God. Hopefully, he still believes in Jesus. Well, he obviously doesn't go to church anymore, but maybe he still believes in Jesus.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there is something to loving Jesus's bride and loving Jesus. And we can talk about the whole tight ribbon thing in a minute too, but
crazy.
That's pretty much.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because, well, one, I think it's a grace that the Lord has sustained you and kept you, and including everything that you've gone through. And I think it's a good segue to the list. But just when you came into Christian hip hop, thinking about the expectations. Or just thinking about what you're saying about people had expectations of fame or success.
I don't think that initially. I'm sorry.
Right. Not well back. So like for cross movement, I don't think they even thought that the type of movement they would spread would be to where now Christian hip hop is a genre.
And I will say, I don't think most of the people that I started with believe that thought that they were truly like fascinated by Jesus's all that, and I really want to try to put him on display. And because there are residual rewards that come along with that, amen. But I think those rewards became an obstruction for them seeing Jesus, myself included in that.
And that's what I was going to ask you. It just in terms of the start, when you started, what was the landscape of CHH through your eyes, and then what was your expectations, your goal, or what got you to say, I'm gonna try my hand at this? Did you think that you could make a career out of it? So
I've been rapping since I was in high school. I started off with writing poetry. There's a joke that I tell when I'm doing my little pseudo stand-up at churches and organizations or at venues. I say I started off as a poet because my mom put Langston Hughes and all these other Harlem Renaissance poets in front of me. But when I realized the girls like rappers, I was like, I'm switching over. So
that's really how it went. Huh?
Yeah, that's literally how I went. I was a poet, and so I started rapping in high school. Had a rap group. Had a rap group in my senior year in high school. We got to tour with Missy. Now, when I say tour, I don't mean we actually got to tour and perform. We got to travel with her as like roadies.
Yeah.
So we traveled with Missy, with New Edition when they did their their comeback album. I don't know if y'all remember 702. 702. I got an old head back there. 702 was on tour with us. All right, so this is gonna blow your mind. We had an incident with Brandy. We got to meet Brandy. And oh man, how can I share this without feeling like? So anyway, I had a homeboy who was trying to holler at Brandy. This is back in the day, and there was another celebrity that was hanging out with her, and he was on some like being funny stuff, but like trying to act like he was her boyfriend. And he was like, "Yo, we're gonna have to go over here and ride on this, bro." Like,
that's crazy.
And the dudes I was hanging out with were like,
they was about it.
They weren't. I'm not gonna say they were gangsters. So our rap group, we lived in the suburbs. We were in the suburbs. But if and a lot of times people in Cali would move from like the hoods to the suburbs to try to get their kids a better life.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's like, violence is everywhere. It don't matter where you live nowadays. But back then it was usually concentrated to like, your inner city. But people would move out. And so, they bring their knucklehead kids with them. And so there was 2 dudes in our group. It was a group of 4. It was me, my man. I don't know if I should be saying names because I don't know where these brothers are in life. So me and my other brother were like, we were the kind of dudes who's like, I mean, I ain't gonna back down, but if it was my choice, can we talk this out? Can we be can we be reasonable? Can we? But I'll throw hands though. But can we?
But yeah,
Can we talk?
But do we have to?
But do we have to though? So anyway, but the other 2 was like, no, we swing first and then we talk later.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they was like, hey, yo, such and such. And y'all know, I think y'all know who this celebrity is. Such and such is talking crazy on the phone, talking about if I come over, and I was like, hey, what we got to do? But can we talk this out though?
Let me try and talk him down first. If not, I mean, we gonna pull up. But let me just talk to him real quick.
So I say all that to say we had dope opportunities. So we actually got to meet with Death Row. We met with who else we met with? We met with a bunch of record labels, but everybody said the same thing about us because we were 17, and I think one of the dudes was 18, and our manager wouldn't allow us to cuss or talk about like sexual content. So imagine, we got to meet with Master P's label, No Limit.
That's crazy.
Everybody said the same thing. It's like, don't nobody want to hear good, positive music. And so
that's a different era that they restricted you from talking like that. Because now they're trying to find kids.
Right.
To talk like that.
And
but,
so we had a song about Juanita. It was called Juanita. That was our best way of trying to be like innuendos. It was about smoking weed. And we were trying our best to like say we got to talk about something that we. So we tried to turn it into like a positive, but like we were hanging out with this girl named Juanita.
That's crazy.
But everybody was like, "Yo, y'all are good," but nobody wants to hear positive.
That's actually crazy because that's what they told Cross Movement. Like they had some like opportunities with big names that people would recognize. Like,
I think I remember Wells talking about that before.
Same thing. They were like, "We like y'all are dope, but no one's right now." The way that music got around was the clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's playing this in the clubs.
So that was radio, the biggest thing. And radio at that time, most of it's payola. So and so it was. I don't even remember what the question was, my guy.
So how you got into CHH? You were telling me how you got into rap and hip hop in general.
How I got
the transition to Christian hip hop and your expectations.
Oh yeah, so I get to
and the landscape.
I get to rapping. I get to rapping with this group. My father's like, all right, you got to make a decision because I'm graduating. I'm about to graduate, and nobody's like signing us. And we're performing. Black Eyed Peas. We did a showcase with Black Eyed Peas. This was before Black Eyed Peas was Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
This is when they had a black girl and not Fergie. Like, and everybody loved that because they were like, "That's the joint. That's the jam. Turn that up. Play it again." So that was like their first hit.
That's
they was breakdown. Like they were Cali, but they were like hip hop underground Cali.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic 5. I don't know if y'all heard of them. We got to not do stuff with them, but we were in the studio with them. It's a bunch of other groups that I can't think of right now. But
so you was tapped in,
indoctrinated
in hip hop.
And so we were making noise, but we just couldn't get anybody to be like, "All right, we'll sign you." We cut demos. We got to meet. We almost got to meet Rick James, which in hindsight would have been amazing. But we did his trumpet player or his saxophonist produced one of our songs. So the dude who's like, "Blow, Danny." So Danny produced the song for us.
That's crazy.
And Danny's all these side.
Where's this song,
bro? I think I may be able to find it.
That might be a bonus. We might have.
I may be able to find it. Let me talk. I can't do two things at once.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. We'll come back.
So anyway, basically, it's dry out there, and myself and one of the other dude that's the dude who's not about them hands.
Yeah,
we're both like, hey, we gotta make a decision. Are we gonna stay home and chase this dream, or are we gonna go to college? My father didn't really make that option for me. Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, you're not leaving with me.
Right.
So if you're gonna chase this dream,
good luck.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, I'm going to Tuskegee. And I wanted to get out of Cali anyway because of a lot of the trouble that my friends was getting in.
Mm-hmm.
I have a song on Lions and Liars called Forever is Tomorrow. And the third verse, I talk about a friend who, that's a real story. Like, I think 17 years in prison for like armed robbery and kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, like, because of the type of person I was, think about Kendrick Lamar's Peer Pressure song.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have left, I would have been with him. Like, he was
Mm-hmm.
my best friend, you know. But shout out to my man Stanley, living his life. You changed your life around out here,
Excellent.
doing well. But I would have been out there with him. You know, my brother had a group. You know what? Anyway, so college, I go to Tuskegee.
Yeah.
I click up with some dudes who love hip hop, but we're not like literally trying to really like make it. We're just like cutting demos. My man Corey Adverbs, my man Stealth,
Hey.
my man John Brooks, who's out here pastoring, Jay Brooks. We had a group called 35th Element, and we would be out there battling, rapping. And literally one day we did a battle rap with these other dudes, all from New York for the most part. And my man Corey Evers was a beast on freestyling. Like, I to this day, there's very few people that I can freestyle like him. And he embarrassed their whole crew. And so later that night, they ran up in his dorm and jumped him.
Dang.
And so they come to our dorm, because we stayed in a different dorm. So like 4 of us stayed in a different dorm. Like, yo, they jumped, his face all bloody, his clothes all ripped up. It's like, yo, we about to blah, blah, blah. And so we literally was like, we meet him. Now there's this, like these dorms in Tuskegee. It was like 4 buildings. And now at this point in time, I'm going to Bible studies.
Yeah.
And so there's 4 dorms, and in the middle of those 4 dorms is like a little quad area where you can fellowship, but all male dorms, because the male dorms are separated from the female dorms. And so it starts off with our crew about 6 dudes, their crew about maybe 9 dudes, and they hold, like, everybody's holding weapons.
Wow.
Like,
not
guns though, not guns, but like
weapons. About it.
Yeah. And so we just screaming at each other like, yo, bleep, 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 bleep. All of a sudden, it seems like 300 people come from the dorms and just circling us, instigating. Yeah, man. But yeah, exactly. It was crazy. And at this point, we all like, oh, this is a show. This is a spectacle. And I remember like just like cussing, just and I look to the right, and a dude who leads the Bible study is just sitting there looking at me like. And I just you remember that Homer Simpson meme where he like
you're not even a believer yet. You just kind of like, man.
I was like, oh,
that's crazy. they wildin'.
Yeah. And so anyway, that's fast forward a couple months later, I start going to Bible studies. I become a Christian, and I don't rap at all, because I'm like, Cross Movement does it, a couple other folks do it, but I ain't really got nothing to say. I was like, I don't really, especially when you listen to the Cross Movement at that point in time, they quoting scriptures, they're like talking about Jesus and his theological, but I'm just intimidated to even think of that I can hold a candle to the stuff that they're saying. Now I listen to other stuff, I was like, I can do that. I can shoot demons all day long. You know what I'm saying? I got 30 metaphors for that. You know what I'm saying? I got all kinds. I got the 66 books, 2 clips. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it's that's I actually turned that into a lyric on my first album. I got 66 bullets, 2 clips, and 1 cannon.
Hey,
come on, somebody!
Come on.
We need to. You know what? We probably need to spend a good 30 minutes just on my bars alone.
That might be. I think we need to have a whole live stream just on breaking down Sho's bars.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna move on. If there's people on that got questions and thoughts, hit me up. But I know I may not be people's favorites, but I'll tell you this: there's a few things I'm extremely confident in, and that's writing, and that is lyrical ability. Yeah. So anyway, for about a good, I want to say year, I probably don't write unless it's for the purposes of evangelizing our campus, because I used to rap, as I said, with my crew 35th Element. And we would do all the shows, all the like yard, as they would like stomp the yard kind of things. We would just be out there doing it. Then eventually what happens is I'm still trying to be cool with those dudes, but I'm like, man, I love the Lord now. So we actually had an apartment together, and them jokers would intentionally like be smoking weed, watching porn, knowing that, having girls over, knowing I'm like, bro, you know I don't do this no more. So I was so radical about the point. I moved out of the apartments that we had and moved back into the dorms with the Christians.
That's crazy.
That's how much I love Jesus.
Amen.
Do you love Jesus that much?
Come on.
That you would leave the mansion, huh? And move into a shack.
That's them.
I mean, they were actually both shacks, but so anyway, my man John becomes a Christian because he sees my life. And so he and I were like, yo, let's start rapping. Let's start. And so we started a group called Ecclesiastes. And we would just do events on campus when they would have open mics. We would go in there and bro, I definitely have this song. We had a song called It's the Word, the Whole Word, and Nothing But the Word. Anything less than Jesus Christ is absurd. Read the whole Bible and forget what you heard. It's the Word plus the whole Word, nothing but the Word.
Hey.
Yeah. That was back in the Dizzy.
That's
and
hard.
so we would perform.
Was Sean around?
Sean was around, but Sean was like he was like our hype man. Sean was our hype man. And so and then eventually we would get asked to do like events around campus and other events. So we would end up like writing. So we ended up recording the joint and like passing it around. Then eventually I had to transfer. So I moved to Texas, North Texas. Quick digress. While I was at Impact Conference, my brother was there, and the day I became a Christian, that I was like, I was confused. I was like, bro, I don't know if I'm a Christian. I just know that I'm crying. I can't stop crying, and I think I love Jesus. Help me out. I was like, help me out, dude. What is this? He was like, I think you at a point where you want to, profess your faith in Jesus Christ. And he's like, and I talked to my brother for about an hour. He's like, yo, I want you to meet somebody. It's a dude who go to school. He goes to the campus that I'm a minister at, and it was Lecrae. So Lecrae came to know the Lord the same morning that I came to know the Lord at that conference.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so we meet each other. We don't talk because I'm still at Tuskegee. But when I decide to move back, not move back, but when I decide to move to Texas, I connect with him. We end up becoming roommates. Tadashi is really close with this brother named Keenan Akers. Keenan Akers is one of the leaders on the campus as well. And so he would just come up, just hang out with Keenan, and he would know like, hey, we rap. And so Tadashi would be like, yo, I do a little something. And so we would just play around and just freestyle. And then it got to the point where Tadashi was like, yo, I'm gonna move up here with y'all because I just love fellowship up here. So he ended up moving from Houston. I think he was at Baylor. He was either in Houston or at Baylor. I can't remember where he was to Denton, Texas. And it kind of popped off by Lecrae would do events around campus, and he would ask us that like, hey, would y'all want to do the events with us? And we would, all right, cool. And then he recorded a demo. That demo was trash. And we would all, I remember we sat down, listened to it, and RIP to my man Otis. Otis was a dude who was kept it 100. And he played it for like myself. I think Tadashi was there, Otis, maybe James Roberson as well. And we was like, bro, you much better than this, bro. Like you're like when you freestyle, you kill it. But this album is not indicative of of how good you are. So he went back.
That's real that y'all kept it.
Yeah. So he went back to the drawing board and then he made Real Talk.
That's crazy. And
so Real Talk was an album that he made, and he started performing those songs at like juvenile detention centers. Then they started having him come to this camp called Kanakuk in KAA. He would perform there. And during this time, he asked us to feature on songs. So I'm on like the church. I think Tadashi's on a couple songs. And then from there, we meet a dude, Ben Washer. Ben Washer is like, yo, we got to turn this into like more than just you traveling. So Ben Washer, by the way, I think there's a documentary coming out on all this. I don't know when. It was supposed to be, I don't know. I know I did an interview. And it was a legit, like, serious documentary, not like somebody with
someone pulled like, their iPhone.
Yeah, exactly, like a legit documentary. So y'all keep your eyes peeled to whenever that comes out. But so they actually start a label, and Lecrae is doing stuff, and we come to perform with them. We do a show.
At this time, what are you doing with your life?
I'm still in school. I think I'm still in college. I think Lecrae's. I think he's still in college as well, but yeah, so I'm definitely still in college because my album came out in 2007. I graduated in 2006. and Lecrae's dropped to 2004. So I'm in college. My wife is pretty much the breadwinner in our house, providing, making sure that I graduate. But I also work too. So I worked at an insurance company, like an auto insurance company, taking calls. People call in. I'd be like, "Yeah, no, you can't do that with the policy, sir. You have to go ahead and you might have
That's
to send it to."
crazy.
But so yeah, I'm working insurance, going to college. We
That's
have
dope though.
2 children. By the time 2006 rolls around, and we get an opportunity. So I don't remember when your father moves down to Texas, but he starts going to DTS. My brother is at DTS around the same time.
Word.
And so we always used to like invite Cross Movement to events.
Yeah.
And like, hey, come out to Denton to perform and bring the students. So that's how my brother got to know Deuce through that and Impact. They kind of remembered me from our Tuskegee group because we would travel to go see them perform. If they were anywhere close to where we were, Tuskegee would come deep.
Yeah.
And so we would go to Atlanta. We would go wherever they were. So they remembered. They'd be like, Tuskegee. And I'm like, yeah, Tuskegee. And so when he started kicking with my brother, then it became not just Tuskegee. It was like, oh, you Hottie's brother.
Word.
And I was like, yeah. So then what happened was your father would come to speak at our Bible studies and in our little retreats we would have. And then the Hottie would be like, yo, these little knuckleheads rap too. And, I'm sure your father was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
like,
I tried to get him to do this live stream today, but he's a sucker. And they said he
that's
couldn't
crazy.
do it.
You can't disrespect my papa.
No, I'm gonna talk bad about him. And so he would come through. Yeah, I told him I got diss track ready for him. Just say one disrespectful thing, Mr. William Branch.
Hey, Pops,
I got look,
Pops. If he does something, I'm sliding. I'm standing on business.
Hey, you better you'll rap then, won't you?
I rock behind.
You'll rap then, will you? You'll have a verse.
I will. I have a whole. I'll have a whole diss track for you.
All right, I got all. Look,
that's crazy.
Ain't nothing but diss tracks for all you suckers. All you suckers. All y'all.
Mine's coming off the dome.
No, it stopped right there. It's at the end of it, so I'm gonna go back up. Nah, that's really just lyrics. It's not really diss tracks. I mean, some of them are diss tracks.
That's crazy.
But mostly just lyrics that I haven't used yet. All right, let me finish the story. We go to these questions. So then I go to your pop starts coming around. He kind of starts blessing us in a sense like, yo, y'all have something. But I think what he really loved about us is that we were on fire for Jesus and we were crazy about making disciples and being a part of our little community. Denton was something special. Tuskegee was something special. Denton was something special. I've had the privilege of being a part of 2 communities that the Lord, bro, I'm telling you, people would see us and they would try to reproduce it. You can't reproduce that thing. That's purely the Spirit of God. True revival. And I think about all the people who came from Denton, Texas, not necessarily from there, but who were there for either college, who went to Denton Bible Church, or who were part of little circles there and who are now doing like amazing things either for the Lord or now for themselves, but at one point in time for the Lord. But who may be killing it in the marketplace. I can probably easily rattle off like 10 names of people who were in that circle and now killing it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
lightning striking.
Yep. So anyway, Lecrae is starting to get more attention because he's performing at these camps. They're like, yo, come to our church here in Indiana. Come to our church here in Oklahoma. And so he would bring some of us with us and we would go do that. We do a show in South Dallas, I think it is, with The Truth. We're opening it up for The Truth. He's like, yo, I want y'all to all be on stage. We're going to do all our songs and we're going to kill it. We do the song. We open up. Truth comes out there, murders it. Backstage, we meet Kirk Franklin.
Oh, wow.
Kirk Franklin is backstage. With Kirk Franklin is his son and this other little hobbit dude named Trip Lee.
Yeah.
And Trip is like, hey, man, I love y'all music, man. I love what y'all do, man. And so I was like, Trip, he's a grown man now. That's a grown man with some kids. I don't know why I even did that voice anymore.
Crazy.
Love you, Trip.
Love you.
But yeah, he's there with Kirk Franklin, and he's like, yo, I love what y'all doing. And Lecrae's like, well, let's connect, And so they connect, and from there, boom, 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 it just takes off. Like,
that's crazy.
And so then Lecrae's like, bro, I want everybody to know my team. Like, I want us to be put on like kind of like the Cross Movement.
Right.
So then we like, well, let's do a compilation, because 116 started off just as a bunch of dudes who were rowdy on campus.
Yeah.
So like my man BJ, who's my brother-in-law married to my sister, BJ Thompson, Lecrae, and another dude named Clint Washington, who no longer is with us, passed away during COVID. Rest in peace. I think they were the main three. Oh, and Tadashi. They were the main three who were like walking around 116 in it. Like they would have the big tall tees, and they was just like unashamed of the gospel. I was like, I'm cool. I'm not about to wear those tees. And but I was like, I'm down for the cause. And so he was like, let's make a compilation album. So that's was the 116 compilation came from. And then we ended up meeting like Thizzle and Jason and other folks. And then it just took off. And then later they were like, would you like to make an album? And I said no for many years. I was like, I'm good. Because I just wasn't one, I think there's a lot in even why I would say no. Part of it was, and I think I remember, you can probably go back to a DJ Wado interview. I struggle because I'm a competitor. And I've always known, like, if I get into this Christian music thing, I'm gonna want to be the best. I'm gonna want to smash. Like, I don't know how I can handle this. You know, the other thing is I didn't really see artists like me for the most part, because everybody was either extremely boom bap East Coast, or like your Shylin kind of lamp mode, or they were kind of like what Reach was doing, or
South.
Grape Tree.
Okay, yeah.
Or Tunnel Rats.
Yep.
So I wasn't Tunnel Rats, although I'm from the West Coast. I wasn't Reach Records, even though I was a part of that crew.
Yeah.
Because they were more like at that time, like the Little John, you know, like turn up crunk, like was the word we were using. But I respected it and I loved it. I was just like, I don't want to necessarily make music like that. I saw these dudes from Chicago and I was like, I want to make music like them. Right. Kanye, Lupe, Common. But I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough to make music like that. But that's what I want to do. Because I'm not that kind of artist. I want people to hear the lyrics. I want people to be like, wait, hold on. Did you hear what that brother said?
Yeah.
And there were artists out there like that. I remember Jay Silas was a dude who I thought was like that. I remember Shylin was like that. There were R. Swift. There's a lot of dudes who I thought were like that.
Crazy,
so anyway,
the landscape back then.
Yeah, it was bars on bars on bars. Corey Red was like that. But it was just the music. I wanted to make soul music, like Kanye. I remember a quick story, and we're gonna get to these questions. I remember Kanye's album, the first album, Late Registration, not late, College Dropout. College Dropout came out, and I was a Christian. And by that time, I was no secular music at all. I was zero secular. I was one of those dudes who broke all the CDs.
How far were you in your walk at this time?
It was probably 4 years in.
Okay. And you was no secular music for 4 years, or you just stopped at a certain point?
I was pretty much, once I became a Christian, it was Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin. Yo, y'all remember, have you ever heard like Winans Face 2?
Winans Face
2? The kids. They were the kids of the Winans. Bro, I only know the that was like what's my man? What's my dude? The two brothers, they do the song I'm Moving On. John McReynolds and the dark skinned dude who's on the song with him.
I don't know. Jonathan McReynolds, I know him.
Goodness gracious. He's back and forth. He's a Christian artist sometimes, but he's, I
don't know. But anyway, about them.
They were making music like them back then.
Okay, yeah.
And that was pleasing my soul. So I was like, okay, yeah. I can rock with this. Then there was another group called Spiritual Pieces that I loved. They were also, so I was listening to that kind, and then I was listening to all Christian hip hop. I would like go to bookstores. I would literally be that dude, go in a Christian bookstore. If the cover looked dope, I was buying it.
That's crazy.
Like I was like, this looks
culture back then.
Yes, I was like, this looks like a pretty, because you couldn't really preview albums, so you had to just trust that it was. They would have like the little stations, but everybody didn't get the privilege of being in the station where you can like. So I was just buying everything. I had all the Christian hip hop.
That's good.
Rachel, who goes to our church, leads worship. She had a group called Washington Project. Well, before that, it was Soldiers. I remember listening to her music. I tell her all the time. I used to listen to her music. So anyway,
that's dope.
So I'm sorry, I forgot where I was going. We're gonna go to discussion. What was I going?
We was just talking about the landscape.
Yeah. So I anyway.
You were trying to figure out your identity. They kept asking you.
Oh yeah, and so I was just like, so when they gave me the opportunity, it's like, hey, find the producers who you think make the music that you like, and work with them. So I was calling, different artists, different producers. My man Sean was one dude. A guy, we call him. His name was Sticks, but his real name Reggie, Reginald Ganther. He produced most of the songs on Official. Official produced some songs on my album, because Official kind of understood me, and so that was it, man. That was, I guess you can say, I'm gonna try to get to Molly Music. Molly Music.
Okay.
So the kind of music that Molly makes and Jonathan McReynolds, like Wine is Phase 2, it was kind of like this, easily could be mistaken for like some good love music. But it was definitely gospel. And yeah. Wado, tell Wado we about. All right. Before we throw Wado in the chat, let's go ahead. That's good. That's a great question, and you can add whatever you.
Okay, yeah. You want to repeat it? Just repeat the gist of the question.
So basically, there are a lot of individuals who come to the faith at a young age, and the zeal is high, and then at some point it begins to become tapered. How can we help? I guess affect change in that area so that people aren't gun ho and then they fall off. I think the Bible is clear about this. Don't anoint or give young people particular positions too early because of this very thing. You want somebody, and I think the Bible is clear. Like it doesn't say this, but I think this is the reason why you want people who are seasoned, people who've been through some things, who understands what it means to suffer. And that's what I think the problem is too many of us think Christianity comes without discomfort, or if it does come with the discomfort, it's discomforts that we can deal with. And if we can't deal with those discomforts, then we begin to question who God is. But the problem is that suffering is a part of the Christian faith. I've said this probably on this podcast a couple times. But when he calls Paul from the road to Damascus, the thing he sends Ananias to go to share with Paul, he says, tell him how much he's going to suffer for me, for my sake. How many of y'all will come to the Lord if the call was, hey, Jesus wants you. He wants all of you right now, but he wants you to suffer for his sake.
And then Paul even says, like, going into each town, he said, the Holy Spirit let me know I was going to suffer when I got here.
I'm going to take all these
eventually, like for some of us, eventually, as soon as he said, yeah, you're going to suffer here, he'd be like, guys, I think we got to go. I don't think I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to tap out. I just suffered in the last 3
I think you didn't call the wrong person.
I need a break.
Facts. And so, yeah, I think there's a sense that now, specifically, I think to answer that question in the context of what we're talking about, it's easy for me. And I want to be. I don't think I pursued any of this platform with ill intentions, but I would be lying if I didn't think that, man, it's great that I'll have an opportunity to be like Cross Movement. Now, that doesn't mean I want to do it for ill intent. I want to do it because I've seen them bless me. I've seen them bless thousands of people. And I feel like the Lord has given me a gift. I want to do that. I want to bless other people. And so because there's that opportunity for celebrity or that opportunity to be a blessing or to be an impact, there's a benefit. There's a benefit to coming to the Lord, especially if you are a rapper or you are articulate, you have some sort of gift. The moment that platform is no longer applauded in the way that you want, then the question is how deep is your faith? How deep are your roots? And I will say the reason why you may want to hold off young people from having platforms is because you want to see how real they are, like how deep those roots truly are. Yeah. And I'll say this question real quick. That same gentleman who paid for me to go to Impact Conference, months later, I walked up to him because I was hearing all this stuff about discipleship from my brother, from them. I was like, yo, I want to be discipled. And so I walked up to him. I said, hey, would you be would you disciple me? He looked me in my face immediately and was like, no.
Wow.
And I was so puzzled. I was like, wait, first of all, like this ain't this what you supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Like if a person says, will you disciple me? And he said no. And I finally realized why he said no months later. He wanted to see like how serious I was. Because I was new to the ministry. He saw that I was charismatic, how quickly I integrated into the space, and now I'm popular amongst the. He heard of me when I was out there. Tuskegee's a small campus. At that time, I think it was only 3,000 students. So I go from being not. Now I'm not gonna make it seem like I was the most popular cat on campus. Wasn't, but I was, out there doing my thing. Now I come into this Christian space. He's like, "Are you here just because you want attention and you want to be a performer, or are you here because you really truly love Jesus and you want your life to be changed?" And I guess I had to show him in so many ways that I am here because I truly want to be a part of the fellowship. And as Peter and them say, when Jesus says, "Are y'all gonna leave me?" He's like, "But I ain't got no other place to go." I've tasted the fruits outside. I've seen what they can offer, and it's nothing but tension, conflict, death. Yes, there's moments of pleasure, but those pleasures don't last. I want to see what you guys are offering.
Right.
And at some point, he was like, "All right,
That's dope."
Is Wado on? You want to throw that question in? Now, next question will be much shorter. Yeah. So, what's the relationship between civil rights, conscious? That's interesting. Um, in my book, I actually kind of talk about this a little bit. And
what's the book called? Come
on. My book is called "He Saw That It Was Good." Chapter 5 of that book, I kind of talk about how there were movements, most movements in history, and this is my political social critique. Excuse me, my political social critique of the civil rights movement, Christian hip hop, not conscious hip hop so much, but Christian hip hop and civil rights. And let me go back to the Harlem Renaissance, which is another extraordinary art movement. Oftentimes within our society, especially in minority spaces, we do great jobs of making cultural products. Like, so we can make art, we'll have theater, we'll have literature, we'll have music, we'll do paintings, but we do not own the institutions that distribute that art. So when it all hits the fan, when it's time for longevity and passing legacy onto kids, or to people who come after us, we can't pass anything down because all we do is make the thing, but we don't own the engines that make the thing. And so here's why I think that's significant, because what happens, just like the civil rights movement, if you do some research and study with the civil rights movement, they were significant for a few decades. But then what happens is when MLK dies, then, the money dries up because now people are like, well, and then you also have this, this greater conflict with Black revolutionaries versus civil rights movement.
Right.
And so their tone and their position begins to become less significant. And so people are actually starting to boo Dr. King.
Right.
Because he's talking to all this peace stuff. Even though he got a little bit more radical than he was before, it's like, we're not here for that peace stuff. We want revolution.
Right.
Bring in Stokely Carmichael. You know what I'm saying? Bring in H. Rap Brown. That's what we want. And so all these civil rights leaders, because the organization's money started to dry up, they started taking money or taking jobs with other institutions,
right?
Mainly white institutions. And so now, when you start working with these white institutions like colleges or organizations, you gotta do what they say in some ways. You know what I'm saying? And so, in the same way, Christian hip hop, I think, lost a lot of its luster is because we never owned the institutions of distribution.
Yeah.
And so, because we had to do the festivals, because we are partnering with people who turned our interest in certain directions, we began to say, how can I sustain the platform by hitting all the festivals rather than really preaching and speaking to the audiences that I have an affection for? And so therefore what happens is people, they have to do big pivots later, but for the most part, when you were busy doing Creation Fest and you have Michael Browns and Oscar Grants and Trayvon Martin's happening, you're not speaking to those people, and the black Christians are wondering like, why aren't you speaking to these issues? Because you're too busy trying to make sure you know desiring God loves you,
yeah,
or you're too busy Acts 29 loves you,
right?
And so now I don't feel like I need a caveat for that. I'm gonna let that sit where it is. And so, but I do think all three of those particular entities, civil rights, conscious hip hop, are great institutions and have impacts in the culture. But let's go ahead and
we got a song, and then we'll come back with
go ahead and play that's so it's that video. It should say like, I don't know, one of those. Hey, how about solo on my man Jeremiah? Jeremiah's gonna say something to the people.
That's crazy. Something to the people.
And that is today's lesson. Any questions?
Miss Brown, are there any black people in the Bible?
Yeah, we don't ever talk about black Christians.
Let me be the first to say that black people are important, okay? Y'all not remember during Juneteenth I came in the dashiki when we listened to Afrobeat music? In The Prince of Egypt, there's that one black girl that's not even a slave, because representation matters. I let you guys listen to trap music because I want to empower you. No cap.
This is exactly why my friends don't come to camp. This is why my uncle said Christianity a white man religion.
Beloved, did someone say, Mr. Whiteman, teach me about religion?
Did you say Mr. White Man?
Whiteman.
White man.
Whiteman.
White.
Whiteman.
White.
Son, take the Jim Crow out your voice, Whiteman. Future laureates, what have you been learning in class?
Man, we've been learning about Christianity and Juneteenth.
Beloved, have you not seen the documentary Juneteenth, Faith and Freedom? Have you not heard of Shinote Cyprian, the Raccoon churches in Lalabella? You're welcome, and it's free. It's free. Run the track.
Our Father, who art in heaven, beat the drum, kingdom come, will be done. Holiness and grace and love blesses us. May I raise the blackest son from rich slum, smart to dumb. We don't beg, we are fed daily bread. We don't find, you don't lie, you provide. On the sparrow, you got eyes. Devil's down in trouble, man. I humbly stand with the devil edge. Here's the truth, cross the line. If you false, cut you off, watch your head. Black is cold, black is gold, can't be sold. They just wanna mind my soul. Hot or cold, God's involved, 3 and 1. I'm trying to learn my foe. We Joseph with the dreams, Mansa Musa with the cream. Make your name more complete. Martin Luther with the king. Give me his honor, give me Lalabella. Give me Yahweh, he never fellas. Give me a choir praising with the fire. I'ma hell you crying, singing a cappella. Meditation over medication. Heart and head with my education. More melanating Athanasians. Retroactive with the reparations. This AME, this Pentecost, this rock Humes, this Haxum. Hair wool, feet of bronze. Lord of Lord being tattooed. This is black truth, look it up. Black is heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus. It's always God we trust. This is black truth, look it up. Black is heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust.
Okay, wait, hey, whoa. See, ain't nobody tell me it was gonna be a bunch of hoodlums. Okay, listen, I got 3 rules. Shut up, don't say nothing, and keep quiet. If you got a problem with those rules, you got 2 good foots and a good heart, you can march wherever you need to be. So let's get in single file order. Hey, I would tell you my name, but you might use it. If you come from a single parent home, if your mom is looking for a stepdaddy, you come up front. Let's go.
You can't gentrify heaven, nah. You can't gentrify heaven, nah. You can't gentrify heaven. You can't gentrify heaven, nah. For the schools, George with the tools, walking for the fools and the cooking stew. Winston taking notes, start singing blues. G. Patterson preaching to the pews. Black is the soya that nourished the crops. Black is the koya that nap up my locks. Black is introductions, I don't need instructions, I just need a nod, that means a lot. We just change it up, dap. This lock, slap, move on. Mother, father, sibling, newborn. Black is heaven, where's you from? Righteousness is the ambiance, your ignorance, I am way beyond. Your approval's late, I know I'm great, your acceptance, I ain't waiting on. Can't erase the global face of a global faith, tell your neighbor, praise the Lord. Every tribe, every race, ride the wave, got his favor. All aboard, black, brown, yellow, white, Creole. Prophet, poet, preacher, teacher, griot. Take your lies, sacred crimes, close your eyes and take your dive all the way to Sheol. Black truth, look it up. Black is heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust. This is black truth, look it up. Black is heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust. Black is heaven, 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 black is heaven.
Beloved,
You've seen black saints, you've marveled over magnificent church fathers, you've been exposed to African antiquity. But alas, lay your covenant eyes on the most important portrait of them all. I give you black as heaven. Yes. Excellent, excellent. I want you to look at this portrait and say, I am black as heaven.
And in solidarity, I'll say it first.
Ooh, I'm gonna
I
have
am
to say,
black.
with all the sojourner truth in me, I'm gonna have to say no. You and your Jesus of instinct needs to go bye, bye, bye. Humble, yet head high. Your hands, they craft culture. Your feet parade at the rhythms of righteousness. Your voice sings his praise. Your heart, it cries for justice. But your skin is the kiss of the kingdom and the envy of the earth. For you are black as heaven.
I am black as heaven.
I am black.
I am black as heaven.
I am black as heaven.
I am.
Black as heaven. Black as heaven. It's Mr. Money. Turning up 24/7. I've been chilling in the black heaven. Future, past, and present times irrelevant when my God's reverent. Free will, I'm legend. Free will, yeah, slap seconds. 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. How we turn it up. Clean on the outside by the dirty cups. That's who our babies are learning from. Wanna ride with my baby, you fed it up. Be right, grace and peace, where we from. Banaba, yes, Christ. If we not go be the betit. DM fool, DM win the Zeke. Black or white, Jew or Gentile, this is the kingdom. Black as heaven.
This black truth, look it up. Black as heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust. This black truth, look it up. Black as heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust.
Black as heaven. 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 Black as heaven.
This black truth, look it up. Black as heaven, look at us. From the boats to the bus, it's always God we trust.
Yo, I don't hear y'all. I don't know if y'all hear me. I don't hear y'all though. I see y'all. I don't hear y'all though. Let me see something.
1,
How
2.
about now? How about
Can you hear
now?
us?
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Excellent.
All right, excellent.
All right.
All right, my man. So first of all, let me say this. It's a privilege and honor just to have you on with us, man. Y'all don't know. Wado and I go way back. Like,
Hey, when you was talking about Denton, I met you when your wife was still the breadwinner. I met you during that time.
that's right. you met us. So I did the album release party for
Turn My Life Up.
Turn My Life Up.
Yep.
And I flew you. I don't know if I paid for you to fly in or
Now you
flew
paid
in.
for me because I ain't had the money to come. You definitely paid for it.
So you flew in, you DJ'd and hosted my album release party.
Yep.
And that's when we connected. I remember we hit traffic. It was like 2-hour traffic. I had to detour.
Yes. Yes.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that was man, those were some fun times though. And I just want to say this, man. I enjoyed hearing you share all those stories. Like there was some gaps. Like I've heard you tell your story a lot. I've heard Lecrae, obviously Tadashi. I've talked to y'all about your stories.
Yeah.
There was still some gaps that you filled in for me, even in that. And so man, you gotta keep sharing your story because that's Black history for real.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's Black history, bro.
Anything you want to know? Like, is there a question that you
Man, we're gonna have to. I'm coming to Atlanta in a couple of weeks. We're gonna have to do that, bro. I'm serious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah.
I can kick Jeremiah out and you could just
Yeah. Yeah, we got a spot. It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, Jeremiah, it's good to connect with you too, man. I done heard so much about you over the years, like years of hearing about you. So it's just cool to just connect with you, bro, for real.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's cool. I mean, Pops, you know, you and Pops got a dope relationship. He speaks very highly of you.
Yeah.
I think we met once or twice. You came through North Carolina and stuff. So, but huge fan of your work. In terms of you saying you've heard all the stories is kind of an understatement for people that don't know, because you're like, you've covered the story of Christian hip hop for a long time, and you're like one of the foremost in it. So mad props to you. Anybody that's watching, listening, gotta give you your flowers now.
So
you know
let me say this. Apparently, we're gonna give him his flowers, but somebody else is giving him his flowers. You're being inducted into Gospel Hall of Fame or Christian Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Yeah, which is nuts. Like, like that's one of them things. Like, you know, you was mentioning earlier, like, you know, when you first start doing this, I didn't even know there was a Christian rap community for real, much less a industry of any kind. And so to be doing this as long as we all been doing this, and then someone call you and say, yo, we starting this Christian Hip Hop Hall of Fame and we want you to be one of the first inductees, is like, are you serious right now? Like, it's like I still am having difficulty wrapping my brain around it because I never thought I'd be in the Hall of Fame of anything in my life, and much less a Christian Hip Hop Hall of Fame. But it's humbling, man. Like, I mean, I think about all the people that have influenced me. I mean, you mentioned DJ Official. Like, if I didn't see DJ Official DJing at Rap Fest one year, I don't know if I'd start doing Christian hip hop. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like, that's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know, for you, it was Factors of Seven and Heaven's Mentality. I went to the Christian bookstore. The 2 CDs I bought was Art of Translation and Holy Culture. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? It's just like, I think through all those different people that have influenced me, and then for someone to say, well, man, you've influenced people so much that we want to put you in the Hall of Fame too. It's humbling, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Bro. Let me say this though, and I don't want to spend all day going back and forth giving each other flowers. We got to talk about some stuff. But the Wado radio show, if there was ever something that gave people it was the Breakfast Club for us. And you put people on, you mended relationships, you pushed the culture forward. And I don't know if people give you the credit that you deserve, but I think this is apropos of how much of a staple you are in the community, bro. You deserve it. I hope your show on Sirius Radio is going well. But when I think about people, how about this? I've heard people talk about the Hall of Fame of football, and they say, can they tell the story of football without you? And if they can tell the story without you, then you don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no way that they can tell the story of Christian hip hop without mentioning your name. Easy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy for anyone to say that, much less you to say that, because of, I mean, we're friends, but I mean, you've influenced and inspired me on so many different levels. You know what I mean? So
tell the people.
Hey man, listen. We're gonna get into these top 5 songs and all of that. I had to make a list because I ain't want to, you know what I mean? So we gonna get into it, but I mean, there's a lot of trends that you set, bro. I mean, I will probably say one of the biggest is everybody has a song about their wife, but nobody had a song about their wife until We Could Be More came out. I'm just saying.
That's one hit. Remember earlier today, I was like, that's my one.
Nah, you
got a lot of hits.
Nah, you got a few more other than that, but that was a trendsetter, culture shifter right there.
Hey, well, respect to it. Thank you. Well, let's so there's a couple things I want to talk about. We were going to talk about the 10 things of hip hop that made some folks mad. We're not going to talk about that right now, but I do want to just talk about who are some people, in your opinion, that we should be paying attention to. For old heads like me, for people who are mid and out of touch and ain't tapped in. I can't remember all the stuff they were saying about me when I put that video out.
They was throwing shit.
Yeah, there was some folks coming for me. Who are the folks that I need to be tapped into? Now, granted, maybe who started popping the last 4 years.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna say, because you're from the West Coast, you got to be on that Miles Minnick. You got to be on Miles.
I'm familiar.
Okay, Childlike CC, My favorite artist
April,
last year is probably Alex Jean. I love him. He sound
Alex
like Pop
Jean.
Smoke. He sound like Pop Smoke. Like voice, flow, everything. It's like Pop Smoke, but he's dope.
Is it spelled Alex like Alex?
Yeah, ALEXJEAN.
JAEAN.
Yeah. Somebody put it in the chat too.
He's been popping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's killing. He's killing.
And where's he from? He from New York?
I think he lives in Orlando, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, Orlando got a. I don't know what's going on in Orlando because you got KB, you got Caleb Gordon. He another one. You got Alex. I don't know what's going on in Orlando. Like
Orlando. So I think this is. You think about Orlando back in the day. It was one of the hot spots for Christian hip hop development.
Yeah.
Like when you gonna do a tour, you had to stop in Orlando,
That's
and that's
true.
much love to Nehemiah and what they were
That's
doing
facts.
out there.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's
So
facts.
all right, we got a couple of those. Any more?
I mean, there's a few. I'm gonna say he ain't start popping in the past 4 or 5 years, but he's definitely one of my favorites. Is Paris from Oklahoma. Yeah.
He does a lot of stuff with Aaron I've lost his last name.
Cole?
Aaron Cole.
Yeah. He got a record with Aaron Cole.
Yeah.
He got a few.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron Cole's my dude, and he married one of my good friends, Erica. Much love to y'all.
That's dope.
Jeremiah, you want to add anybody to this list?
Yeah, I like in terms of these days some more underground dudes. Young C, I don't know if people are familiar. He's a dope dude, dope lyricist, dope content. Man of music. I don't think you would like his music, but he's like that aggressive.
Does he make music like you?
Nah.
Because then I wouldn't like
he's
it.
Aggressive preacher.
If he doesn't make music at all. Did you hear me ask his brother to rap, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not."
I did hear that. I was a little surprised by that. I did hear that though.
What MC you know ain't ready to spit off a couple?
I don't have nothing now. I'm still workshopping. Like I wouldn't even call myself a rapper. He calls me that. I right now just write. So that's why you could be mad, but I'm not a rapper yet.
All right.
But I am working. And maybe Wade, we can connect and you can help me because he don't ever help me. I'll play a song and then he'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. And I'd be like, okay. So
well, part of that is true. Part of that is true. But the other part is I've been trying to introduce. So I go to the studio. I'll be like, come to the studio with me. And he'd be, oh man, I got to disciple these youngsters. I'm like, oh, you care more about discipleship than making music.
Man,
that ain't Christian hip hop.
Yeah,
like you ain't going nowhere. Apparently, you ain't learned nothing. But
I got one more. I got one more for you, Sho.
All right.
I know you'll like this dude, Bats.
MTM Isaiah.
Bats?
Yeah, BATTZ.
He's a dope young lyricist.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a boom bap style.
Oh,
He reminds me of like West Side Gun.
Okay.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's dope. MTM Isaiah
he's
in
dope.
New York.
He's
And a dude that rolls with him a lot, Shondi. And he's here in ATL at 2819 Church, and they're really dope. Yeah.
All right, so I'm writing these down. I'm really getting old. I'm forgetting because there's a couple of dudes that I really like. My man here in Atlanta, Bars. Goodness gracious, does killing it on Instagram and
Bars Netty?
No. I mean, maybe I don't know who that is, but yes, maybe they're killing it.
It's all good.
Oh,
Maybe
I got a song.
I
got a song in my, or a couple of his songs in my. But anyway, so let's talk about how you got into Christian hip hop, Wado, real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So, I went to Howard. I'm an HBCU alum too. I went to Howard.
TU?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
No, it's HU. Not TU. I mean,
No, it's
I know
TU.
y'all tried to steal it. I know y'all tried to steal it. I know. I respect it, but you got to respect the originators. So I went to Howard. And I started DJing there, and I mean, I'm doing clubs, parties, like all of that stuff. And because it's DC and it's Howard, there's all types of celebrities that roll through. I've done stuff with Busta Rhymes, Alicia Keys, Eminem. Like, I had a legit career and opened up for DJ Clue in the Ritz. Literally, someone gave me Mace's book Revelation as a graduation.
Pastor Mace.
Pastor Mace. Gave
Not
me Mace's
Pastor
book.
Mason in Philadelphia.
No, not Eric Mason. Mace from Bad Boy. Mace from Mace
take
from,
that Mace.
Take that Mace. Mace from the sports show with him and Cameron, like that Mace. And
Paul's Mace.
Yes.
Hey, Paul Mace, crazy.
Yes. Harlem World. So I read that book, and long story short, I get saved. And so I stopped doing music because I was like, I don't know how I can really live this Christian walk and keep doing the things that I've been doing. And so for 2 years, I moved to New Jersey, had a corporate job. I'm just going to church, working, and I start serving. You know what I mean? I'm in the ushers for a minute. I'm in the sound ministry for a minute. I'm in the choir for a minute. Then the same dude that gave me the Mace book, my man Osaze Murray, he's like,
Osaze.
You know Osaze. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, there's this thing in the Bronx that I'm going up to called Rap Fest. He's like, you should come with me. I was like, all right. So this is the first time I'm really exposed to anything Christian rap other than Osaze, because he was a Christian rapper. He was the only Christian rapper I knew, though. Yeah. And so I go to Rap Fest. Cross Movement is headlining. Never heard of Cross Movement before. Officials DJing for him. And there was a ton of other people out there that day. R. Swift, Corey Red, like ton of people. And so I see this whole thing and I'm just like, yo, there's like 3,000 people at this thing. Like, it's humongous. And I don't immediately say, oh, let me start doing Christian rap. I said, I want to hear more music like this. And so I go to a Christian bookstore. That's where I got the Grits and the Cross Movement CD, right? I gravitated a little bit more to the Cross Movement CD. The Grits was cool, but then I just started buying more music. And then long story short, probably about a year after that, a classmate of mine at Howard, so I'm living in Jersey at this time, she's going to Duke Divinity. And she calls me and she says, hey, I'm doing this concert at Duke with Mary. I need you to come DJ. And I'm like, come DJ? I'm like, I don't even have Christian music. Like, because at the time, Serato was not even a thing. So it was like, if it was either vinyl or nothing. Right. And so I was just like, I don't have Christian vinyl. She was just like, just come anyway.
Yeah.
She was like, just come with what you got. So I'm DJing this Mary concert with like Dr. Dre Next Episode instrumentals playing and Jay-Z Give It To Me instrumentals.
I'm sure you heathens at Howard like that.
Well, this is at Duke though. This is at Duke. She flies me to North Carolina.
Same thing.
This is at Duke. So I do that, and then I come back, and about 6 months later, my youth pastor is like, he said, hey man, you got this gift, like you DJ. He was like, you're not doing anything with it though. You need to figure out how to do something with it. And so this is like 2005 or 6 at this time. And I'm like, okay, all right. So long story short, we end up doing this coffee house, which were huge back then. I DJ'd as like an open mic night. And then I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I said, I'm going to start a podcast. And podcasts were not like a thing. Like everybody does podcasts now, right? Like podcasts were like, there was no podcast app. There was like, you had to tell people what an RSS feed was and all this crazy stuff. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I said, I'm going to start a podcast playing Christian rap music. And that's how that was really how things started with the Wado Radio
Show. Changed the world, and then changed the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. A little bit after you started the podcast, I started mine, Lions and Liars podcast.
I remember that.
In like 2009.
Yep.
So I remember that. It was crazy. People weren't doing podcasts back then. And I think about if I would have kept that up, I could be making millions.
Consistency is always the key,
sometimes
man.
Jesus would be getting in the way of your dreams and your blessings. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. Hey,
I am just kidding.
hey.
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
agree.
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
The Lord about to strike this podcast down. He about to just shut it all down. All right. So we talked about people, and so this is, I think, over the span of Christian hip hop, I want to discuss some people that you think are underrated.
Yeah.
Who are some people that you are like, man, they might not be the best, but they are people who don't get enough attention. And do you have any people that you can think of, like,
In terms of overall,
just
never getting
overall,
their
just
flowers?
underrated? Somebody said basically Wado is a disciple of Mason Bethel. DJ B plus.
B plus, my man. So I ain't even going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that be. I'm gonna let that sit there, as you said, man. So this is gonna sound weird because he has a big platform. I don't think Bizzle gets the credit that he should.
I would agree with that.
Deserves.
I would agree with that whole crew.
Yeah, I think
and 7 as well.
Yes, definitely 7. 7. I'm gonna tell you something, man. 7 is really
7 story too.
Yo, everybody got a 7 story, bro. He is really about that life, and I don't say that life like that street life, but I'm saying.
Oh, I was talking about that street life,
but he is, but I mean, like he is very passionate about reaching the people that God wants him to reach.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't see that translating in other spaces, right? Like just his level of commitment. Like, it's not about the money. I mean, we say that, but I'm like, he really lives that.
Yeah.
I think, man, when you look at Bizzle's career and his consistency, I mean, this dude pretty much puts an album out every year. He always has big records on it. The collabs, the lyricism, the consistency in terms of, like, I mean, he doesn't waver in terms of compromise or any of that kind of stuff. It's just like, and I think we just, it's almost like people take him for granted. And I'm like, that's because
we get exhausted with greatness sometimes.
Yeah,
like when people are too consistent, we like switch it up.
Yeah.
So I will say this about Bizzle. I did not watch all of the interview he did with Ruslan.
Yeah.
But I was so frustrated with that interview, and I only watched like the first 10 minutes of it because I'm like, I don't look. All respect to Tyrese. I don't know who, but Bizzle, you are the authority.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be the one who speaks confidently and authoritatively about a subject that you've been in and mastering for so long. And I know how oftentimes, you want to show deference and respect to people.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, you're Bizzle.
Right.
like somebody challenging you on what you do. Like, to me, that's anyway. I probably should.
Yeah, I don't think he looks at it like that, though. I don't think he views himself like that, because, and some of that is a humility that he has, but I don't think he even internalizes it that deep like that. I think it's just like, this is what God called me to do. I'm just going to do it. I don't think he see, this is the thing, and this is
he's nice.
No. He knows he's nice, but what I'm saying is, let me put it to you this way. Those of us that came up in some way influenced by cross movement, we automatically always thought about the philosophy of what we were doing because that's what they did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think to a detriment as well. And I've argued with Deuce about this.
Absolutely. I don't think he thinks like that, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he thinks about it from a philosophical, I'm going to have to explain this, debate this with somebody at some point and persuade them to see things my way. I don't think he looks at it like that, honestly.
I got you. Anybody, any underrated?
Nothing that pops to mind. Probably because they're underrated.
I would probably say there's a couple people. I saw somebody through Eshawn Burgundy. I didn't think of him, but I would say
definitely
Eshawn as well. But the two that I had on my list, one is SO. I feel like SO.
Yes.
SO's nice. That brother has been killing it. And he could do it in a British accent.
I feel like that automatically gives you some points. You know what I'm saying? It's just so unique and
Right. And you know, he's relevant, like he makes relevant music. But he's a lyricist as well. His songs are good. So he's not just an MC, he's a good song maker.
He's a great song maker.
And
That's one of
once
the
again,
hardest
like
things.
unwavering, you know.
Hey,
Just,
I feel like I need to say this right now because I don't think a lot of people know this. His producer just passed away. GP just passed away. Like,
oh no.
like a week ago, bro. Yeah, it's like I want to say not this past Wednesday, maybe the Wednesday before that. Yeah, a week and a half ago. Yeah.
Yo, GP was good people's. He produced Mercy on Me on my album, on my Lions and Liars album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he had illnesses and he had been struggling with vision issues for anyway.
Yeah. Me and him got the same birthday, January 7th, man. I love GP, bro. Yeah.
Well, much love. And you know what's crazy, as you and I get older, we lose people. And it's like we are Yeah, I'm at the age where friends are dying. So well, I guess that was appropriate for me to shout out SO.
Yeah.
GP was an amazing producer. He produced a track for Tadashi. I'm a Believer. I think he produced that.
Yeah.
That song
was a
went
good
hard.
song. That was a
The
good
one thing
song.
I will say about Christian hip hop, well, it's hip hop in general, you can tell like who was killing during a particular period because like Tony Stone was the producer for a while. Then it was Official. Yeah, and it, you know, then it went to like Gavi. And you kind of just moved around for a season, and it was like one person who was producing everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
And then you know, there's always consistency. But another person I will say, well, there's two more, and I'm gonna just throw these two quick out here that I think Deuce I love, that I think are underrated. One is Dre Murray. I think Dre Murray is underrated. We talk about the We Live as King album. It's easy to be overshadowed when you're on a track with like Swoop and Kristen Gray. You know, Kristen Gray out there singing and rapping, that's cheating. It's like shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
But killing it. And Swoop is just Swoop. Alex Face was dope too. But I think about Dre Murray, his album, you know, I don't know. I may not have time, but he's one of my sleeper albums. Go Rush.
Well, you know the thing about Dre Murray was such a lyricist, but he's not a big personality. And so like the like when you listen to any of his projects, you're like, yo, this is every single from Monument all the way through We Live as Kings to all the normal the stuff he's done after that. Amazing. But it's just like he's just not a big personality. He's just chill, he's laid back, he's and so you kind of like Swoop is, I mean, you said it, like this dude is producing and he's rapping. Kristen Gray is like probably
the Hell's Paradise joint.
Yes.
So when I think about, and he's also Dre Murray, one of the few Christian hip hop artists who say they can play basketball and actually can play basketball.
He can hoop. He can definitely hoop.
Most of these jokers out here, Swoop, you one of them, say they got game. And I'm like, I don't know. Now I will say this: Swoop's jumper is wet.
Right.
He can't do nothing else.
That's crazy. What do you do on the court?
First of all, we know I got game, so I
don't even gotta defend himself or prove himself.
Yeah,
right?
We ain't got to. I think I had Instagram stories. Watch him just knock them down. Bam. So, and then lastly, I'm gonna throw this out here. Now, I understand why this person is underrated, but I just think he's dope. Taylor Gray.
Yeah. Yep.
But I can see why he's underrated. And then I remember him with his brother, the Elevationer. I thought they was dope. But Taylor Gray is a dude
he was
who's smooth and still putting out some good stuff. So I don't know.
Excellent.
Anybody else? You got anybody else?
No, like I said.
All right. So,
but I do have a question. Especially as you've seen it all. You've seen it all and you're still tapped in, as you've watched Christian hip hop and hip hop come and go. If you navigated the landscape, what do you look for, or what do you see in artists that you're like, man, this person's either gonna blow or this person's gonna be very impactful? What do you see usually? Have you predicted some artists where you saw them and you were like, they were small and maybe they came through and you were like, oh, this person's gonna make some waves?
Yeah, I mean, Esso was one of them.
Hmm.
Like, I was probably the first person in the States playing Esso music. Like, I seen that. I think, man, I think there's three things. I mean, one is obviously the person has to genuinely love the Lord. I mean, you guys mentioned this, like the number of people who had talent, I mean, amazing talent, but they didn't really love the Lord. That's never going to last, because at some point you're going to fall away, right? Like you're not going to keep doing this forever, because like your why isn't correct. You know what I mean? And so I think there's that. I think the second thing is, I mean, like, do you just have like immense talent? Like, there's some people, like, I mean, here's one person. When we were doing the Breaks Over mixtapes, when we got to part 3,
that mixtape was fire as well.
Yeah, John. So John Gibbs was not a known artist at that point.
Yeah.
He was just Belief's brother-in-law. You know what I mean? And it was just like, this is a dude we got off the street, basically. And you could see right away, like, yo, this dude's talent level is through the freaking roof. Like, you could just see it. You know what I mean? He was raw. I mean, he was still cursing and smoking cigarettes and all of that stuff, but you could see the talent. So you look at that, and then the other thing is consistency. So if you have all three of those things, you love the Lord, immense talent, consistency, in this era with the internet and all of that stuff, you're gonna blow up, bro. Like, it's just a matter of when is it gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen for you.
And the most important of those, honestly, is consistency.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I agree with that, but what I'm saying is if you are consistent, you don't even have to have talent. No, let me change that. You don't have to have immense talent.
Right. Right.
Because if you're flooding the market and your brand is tight and you're consistent, people will tap in.
And even if your brand ain't tight, they're gonna tap in, bro.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
You a branding expert, so that's always going to be a thing for you. But
that's crazy, because I don't see myself as a branding expert.
You are, though.
I literally asked him about that today, and he was just like, "Yeah, I don't think I do good." I was like, "Interesting,
bro. Look at that set you on. I know you designed it. I knew
Come
you.
On, let's go. Whoa.
I knew it.
As soon as you said that, the woman in the back looked up and was like, "You better not lie. You better not. You better not lie." But it was the help of wonderful people. You guys want to be in front of the camera and show your faces? Trinity, Tina. I know Tina's gonna say no.
We'll give him.
Yeah, we'll give him a round of
flower
applause.
giving episode.
Yeah.
We're giving everybody that deserves
Good job.
that flower.
My man Shad,
shout out
out here, drove many hours to help us on the production as well. My man Justin, my man Lawrence. So, anybody want to give their quick testimony on how they came into Christian hip hop?
That is crazy.
Real quick. Come on, Shad. Real quick.
Come right here.
You got 30 seconds, Shad. 45 seconds. All right, Shad.
And the time it takes for you to get up there counts too.
Yep, that counts too.
All right, bet.
Yeah, there you go. Give him camera on him.
Yeah, no, I got
camera on Shad.
He's a little tall,
The sound
but
man. Let's go, Shad.
First off, my mom bought a Cross Movement album.
Dang, Cross Movement.
And Human Emergency was mad dope because, well, first off, my mom was in hip hop on it.
Yeah.
I was introduced to Onyx, all of that. You know what I mean? So when in high school, she put me on to Cross Movement, Human Emergency. The first song on that joint was The Light.
Yes.
And that joint was
The Light of Crisis.
I'm from New York, so everything is bars. So The Light had nothing but bars. But that's how I was introduced to The Truth. That verse on The Truth joint was fire, bro. I mean, fire. So boom. So that was like a little segue. I did, dibbled and dabbled in some things. And I think I got saved back in like 09, I believe. And I was listening to this at that time when you get saved, like you were saying, you only gotta listen to Kirk Franklin's and the Kirk Franklins and the Fred Hammonds and things like that. And then I was listening to this this TV show or whatever, and it had nothing but gospel music or whatever. And then I heard We Can Be More. It was a video.
What?
We Can Be More. No lie.
Hey,
That's it.
Hey, this story
hey,
just got better.
hey.
The story just got much better.
Dead serious. Listen, a week could be more, and I was like, and at that time I was like yeah, I could say I dabbled in some bars and stuff like that, but that weekend be more was about the ladies, and I was like, this is a Christian joint about ladies. This junk is fire. So
I was trendsetting, y'all. I was trendsetting.
Trendsetting.
So I did that. Joint. I listened to that, and no lie, I found Lions and Liars. I bought I bought that album, and then I bought tickets to the Reach concert in somewhere in Jersey.
Okay.
And I didn't know about
Hey, that's
Reach.
probably the one I threw.
So from Reach,
I wonder what show it was because it was probably one that you was DJing.
I think it was.
I went to the joint in Jersey, and then that's when I was introduced to the whole Reach record.
Oh, you got 10 seconds.
Yeah, boom. After that, and that was my introduction. And from then on, I've been on it ever since.
Shot.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
No.
No.
Okay.
Question for you, Shot. Do you rap?
I got some bars. You know, everybody got bars here and now, man.
Everybody got bars here and there.
I'm not. No. Listen to
No. That's you.
I think he's gonna ask you to spit some bars right now, though.
Do you want to spit a little something right now?
Some bars. Let me see. Boom,
They
boom,
say
boom,
he
boom.
looked when he looked to the right. He looked to the right. He's like, Rolodex. Which one I'm gonna give him?
Right? Which
Am
one?
I gonna give him this? No, I'm not gonna give him that one.
Chill. You messing me up. Right
Okay, I'm gonna
now.
shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, see now, what's my favorite one I like? Persecuted on every side, but day and night, surrounded by the dark, but inside I carry light. From the burden bearer, my savior, salty with the earth, salty to the earth. See, I messed up. You gotta mess me up. Put me on the spot to mess me up.
See, you know what? Y'all gotta be ready. The Bible says you gotta be ready in and out of season, amen. It ain't my fault. I can't mess you up.
I got some other stuff too.
Okay, well, you ain't get out of here, Shad. Get out of here.
Amen.
Justin, I think you got a story real quick too, huh? No. Okay. Jeremiah said that you wanted to share, so I guess you don't. All right. All right. Well, Wado, give me your. Was there any more questions? So maybe at some point, B+. You've been. And I know you do your own podcasting. You've been you my boy ever since I did the joint in Dallas. You came through with your people and supported. I may want you to join the stream, my guy. We may bring you on in about 15 minutes or about. Oh, we only got like 20 more minutes. 10. Dang. We got 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Where did Jeremiah go? All right. So, Wado, let's talk top 5 albums.
Okay.
Let's talk our songs, albums, or artists. Which ones you want to do?
I'm gonna go albums right now.
All right.
So these are my favorite 5 albums.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that. And then I got some honorable mentions too.
I do as well.
Okay. I got some honorable mentions. Okay. So you want me to do honorable mentions first or the top 5 first? Which one me do?
Let's do honorable mentions.
Okay, honorable mentions. So here's my first honorable mention is High Society.
Wait, okay. All right, hold up. I wasn't even gonna consider High Society until you mentioned it, but it should be top 5. So
well, here's the only reason why it's not top 5.
Right.
Honestly, because it's not on the streaming platforms. That's the only reason.
It is.
Is it now? Okay, so
Yep.
then it's top 5. I'm gonna have to kick something out. I don't know what I'm gonna kick out yet.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm gonna kick out.
But nah, I'm just messing with you. But
that project was trend setting on so many levels. Okay. Jafia Life, Pages of Life.
That album was something else.
Bro.
I may have to start changing my list as you talk.
Bro. Okay. Cross Movement, Holy Culture. I'm gonna put that there. That has sentimental. There's a lot of people who feel stronger about Heaven's Mentality, Humans Emergent. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna just be real with you. I heard Holy Culture first.
Okay.
And so for me, that just always got a special place in my heart. Like, it just does. DJ Official Intermission. That was a tough one to not be in the top.
R.I.P. to my brother.
That was a tough one. KB, Today We Rebel.
Okay.
Or We Rebel. However he pronounced it. I don't know. But
it's the crazy album, sir.
Yeah, it is. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. I'm gonna leave that alone.
What?
And then here's another one. Braille to IV.
Braille.
Braille to IV.
Busy.
Braille to IV.
So
Yeah,
busy,
yeah.
busy Braille.
All right, here's my top 5 though. Here's my top.
You
No.
know-
What's your honorable mention? What's your honorable mention before we do the top 5s? What's your honorables?
Okay. Do you have a list of albums?
I just have albums I rock with.
All right,
I didn't come into this as a. I come in as a consumer, not as a.
That's
critic.
fair. He said, "Albums I rock with." I like that.
You know what? Okay. I'm debating. All right.
It's hard, brother. You got to make a choice.
So I'm making a choice. All right. So I have 4 honorable mentions that I can think of. And I'm sure as y'all talk, I'm gonna be like, that one too. So Satellite Kites by Beautiful Eulogy, honorable mention.
Yeah.
So let me say this. I didn't pick any of my albums. Okay. So as my favorites or as honorable mention. However, High Society is in my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Gold Rush by Dre Murray is in my honorable mention.
Great album.
And then We Live as Kings I put as one of my honorable. And then honestly, I could have put like a whole bunch of cross movement albums. I could have put like Brady's album, The Incredible Walk, was probably one of those as well. So, but those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Because you mentioned Intermission, and that made me think of. I was like, should have probably put Intermission.
Yeah, that was. I mean, especially for me as a DJ too. Like that was like incredible. Like, I mean, there's no other way to put it. So, all right. So here's
and
my
also,
top 5.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
There's I would probably put Andy Minnie. Like he has a couple albums in honorable mentions that I would probably say I would put in there as well. All right. Top 5. Your top 5.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Theory has it extra credit.
Oh, that's what I forgot. So he would be my top 5. He would probably be my top 7 artists.
That album, I'm gonna just tell you, man. Like, and I'm from Ohio originally too.
It's okay. Jesus died for that sin. Go ahead.
Here you go. I'm about to. I mean, that album is just.
Ohio's underrated on the music.
It is.
Swoop, yeah,
it really is.
Swoop in the Gray Brothers. Oh, D-Mob.
Yep. D-Mob. K-Drama.
K-Drama.
Hey.
Love the K-Drama.
Come on, man. OH10 got it, man. OH10 got it, bro. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ambassador, Christology in layman's terms.
Absolutely. That's an easy one.
We Live as Kings.
That's it. Yeah, I can see that one.
Okay, here's another one. Esham Burgundy, blood rushing to my head.
Yes, I can see that.
That's that gully hip hop. And then here's my last one. Lecrae Rebel.
There we go.
That's my 5.
Here are my 5. All right. So I have. This is. So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. So I have Human Emergency.
Yeah.
Because if I'm honest, I had to pick a cross movement because that is literally who I am right now, part of who I am.
Yep.
And so I said, which one is my favorite?
Yep.
Human Emergency was my favorite. But then this is the reason why I feel like I'm cheating the list, because Christology is also up there too.
I mean,
and it's like Christology. When I heard Christology, I was like, I don't know why anybody else is rapping. I don't even know why y'all suckers is doing this. I need to stop. This man is up here giving us the bars and theology.
Yep.
Even though you a sucker and I'm coming for you, I got a diss track for you.
Is that the official invention of lyrical theology? That album?
I don't know. We probably have to ask. Didn't Shylin coin that?
I was about to say, yeah.
I know Shylin coined it, but I'm just saying.
I would probably say this.
Was he doing that before that album?
I would say, as a biased observer, I would say no. Nobody was. I would say that was it. That was the one.
Yeah.
let's just take it in for 5 seconds.
I'd say,
Just take this in. Just taking Christology in layman's term. All right, we're good.
I was just gonna say that I think if you're not biased, that album has to be in everybody's top 5. If you're looking at just
It's
what
like
it did-
Illmatic.
huh?
It's like an
Yeah,
Illmatic.
Exactly.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's like no matter how you feel about, you just know it shaped culture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's it. Those two. Swoop's Wake Up is up there.
That's That's a
Mm-hmm.
that's an omission for me.
So
That's a great
Swoop is the
project.
only this is the only rapper. Swoop is the only. There's a lot of great ones. Bizzle, Ishan,
Yeah.
Stephen the Levite.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers out there. Swoop was the only one. When I would listen to his music, I'd be like, I need to step my game up. I'll be like,
that says a lot right there. That says a lot, bro.
I've told him this.
That says
And
a
so
lot.
even with High Society,
Yeah.
I was like, we gonna look. I'm coming for your neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Wake Up is easily. So I'm gonna stay within the camp. School of Roses. Now here's the issue with this thing. Do you know it's not on streaming services right now?
Hey man,
You can't find it.
The business side of all of that stuff has always
I
been.
hear you. And let me take a second. Zoom. Give me this camera one. Give me camera one. Christian Gray. I don't know where you are in life right now. I don't know what you're doing with your life. But let me tell you something. When you made School of Roses, the Lord spoke to you, my friend.
That's facts.
He was doing something in your life that was pure. That was amazing. You don't own that album. That belongs to us. That album is for the people. That album, that's the Lord's album.
Oh man.
So go ahead and loose that thing, hey? You know what I'm saying? What you loose in the earth, it will be loose in heaven. And I want you to loose that thing. Let go of it so we can get some of that School of Roses, my man.
Are you sure? Are you sure he owns it?
So I'm just gonna say this.
I don't want to get messy.
I don't want to get messy either. From what I understand, it was his decision to remove it off of streaming service.
Okay. All right.
That's from what I understand.
All right. All
And
right.
so that's why I'm speaking to Christian, the talented Christian. Let us have it, brother.
Yeah.
Let us have it.
Yeah.
I love that album, man. And I'm so hurt that I can't listen to it.
You know what though? Let me say this though. That album meant one thing to us. It might have meant another thing to him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With all albums are like that.
Yeah.
I think that's profound. You just said that. I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I can think about my albums.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah, you mentioned this. I would love to years later sit down and just walk through some of my albums because I don't think people get a lot of what I was trying to say in some of my albums. But last album, I would be remiss if I didn't give one of my top 5s to Lecrae. So After the Music Stop,
yeah,
is the one.
Okay,
yeah.
I can understand Rebel. I definitely see how Rebel is that, but After the Music Stop, and I honestly feel like some of the reason why I picked that album, not only because of the like song after song after song is just crazy. First of all, Jesus music.
Yep.
That was.
Yep.
Jesus music was culture, bro. That was the culture.
You know the line I remember the most from that album, though?
What is it?
It's him talking about you and him getting saved on the same night, James White.
Yeah.
So hearing you tell that story earlier, I was just chuckling because I always, whenever I hear anyone talk about that album, I think about that line for some reason. And I don't know what it is, but.
And also because of the moment of life we were in.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I hate to use the word pure as if it's no longer pure, but it was such a God moment and what the Lord was doing. So
it's probably simple, bro. It's probably simple.
It was very simple. So I started doing a documentary on his album around the time it dropped. What's interesting is that I followed him. Quick story. So the reason why I started to do this documentary is because there was this letter we got, or an email we got at the label, like this dude was dying, and he was like, I probably got a month or two to live, and the one thing I want in life is for Lecrae, or is to go to a Lecrae concert. Kid you not.
Wow.
And so they ignored the email apparently for like a couple weeks. And the mother kept emailing like, hey, my son is. And so finally somebody responds and finds out like, oh no, this is legit. They verify everything, talk to other people. So Lecrae and I get on the plane. We go to like Bonanza, Oregon. Wow. Bonanza, Oregon. Literally farms.
You just made that up.
I did not. Y'all Google it. Bonanza is a real place. And I just come with my camera and he goes to Bonanza. They clear out this church. Lecrae puts on this concert. My man. So we spent the whole like weekend with him. So we stayed in his house. We talked to him. They allowed me to capture it all on film and everything. So at this time, I'm still in school because no, I don't think I was in school anymore. But anyway, I was studying film and television. So at the concert, literally, ain't nothing but white faces.
Of course.
But people in overalls. Like they just got off the farm. And so I'm just sitting here just like, this is bananas. And so bananas and bonanza.
Yeah, this is bonanza.
And so, years later, I stopped doing a documentary because I was really trying to do a documentary on Christian hip hop because it started off with Lecrae. It was called After the Music Stopped. And then I started to expand it to other people. I started interviewing other, and then I put it down. And then years later, Art Hooker comes up and he's like,
Art,
hey, I want to continue doing this. Art. Yep. And so I gave him all the footage. And so I don't know where that footage is now.
Hey, maybe some of that footage was supposed to be in that Unashamed documentary.
Hey, so we're gonna leave that alone. As you say, the business.
So for me, in no particular order, like I said, I thought of this as a consumer, but I mean, well, I do have one particular order, and Christology is number one for me. Okay, so this is literally, like I said, that was what I was birthed into.
Absolutely.
I was, huh?
No, I say absolutely.
Oh yeah, but then, Our World Redeemed by Flame.
Hey,
that was a good album.
That was a good album.
Was that the one with
Joyful Noise?
Joyful Noise?
Yeah. For sure.
That was it.
For sure.
That was
First of all, the Our World Fallen and Our World Redeemed were both great.
That's probably one of my top 5 songs.
With Joyful Noise?
Joyful Noise.
Oh,
Joyful Noise got to be in the mix. That's it. That was in my top 5.
That Katy Perry joint. I mean, that Flame joint. Smash, bro. That joint go.
Yo. Foul on the play.
Illegal motion on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Go ahead.
So that's 2, right? Today Rebel was in my top 5. There was a long time where I stopped listening to Christian rap, and that was the first album that got me to listen to it again. Amazing album. Rebel was also in my top 5, and I didn't want to use the same stuff. Intermission was also in my top 5.
Yeah.
So I have some. The honorable mentions was Lions and Liars. Actually, that was one of my all-time favorite albums. And one of the things that when I was younger and I thought I was going to do music for the rest of my life, I went to your concert or a concert that you rapped at, and DJ Official, Uncle Fish, rest in peace. He played one of my beats right before you came up, and you came up and you were doing like Lions and Liars, and that was like, I thought I was famous. I thought I made it, and it was just one of my favorite moments and one of my favorite memories that made me fall in love with just Christian hip hop, the culture. Was watching specifically. I really don't remember anybody that performed except for you performing Lions and Liars.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's legendary for
Those
me.
concerts were crazy because I would usually go up. Well, it depended on what year it was, but the first couple concerts, I would go up first. Tadashi would go up second. No, we would all come out together and do like a medley of all of our songs real quick. Then I would stay on stage, then Tadashi, then Trip, then Lecrae, and then we would come all again at the end and close it out.
Power set. The power set.
Power set, yeah. All I know is it was so electric. And it's crazy. Even just the culture of what CHH used to be versus what it is now. Like,
you sounded like a boomer. You sounded like Sho Baraka now.
I'm fine with it. I think today they're starting to re-foster that. And so like the artists that you'll see in their different camps will connect. They'll do shows together. They'll do different things. And so it's dope. I'm kind of outside of it. But like I just remember going to all the shows and knowing all the artists and being like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
And like the culture, people staying and talking after, and the person who the artists were not just artists, but they were also like teachers. And so people would surround them and want to like learn from them and yeah, they would
But
just
not to
hang
make
out,
this like a
fellowship,
one-sided,
great conversations and stuff.
Not to make this a one-sided narrative because it's very cross movement heavy. But if you came from that particular tree of artistry, Blacklight, Tedashi's Blacklight album.
That was a great album.
Come on now.
That was a great album.
Let's go, Alan. If you came from that particular tree, you stood in those audiences listening to cross movement. They would get up there, they would perform, and then they would preach for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the crazy thing about that experience. You didn't hate the preaching.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, you enjoyed the preaching just as much as you enjoyed the music.
For real.
And the other beautiful thing is your dad would do primarily most of this talking, but then Fanatic would speak, and then John would speak. Other people took their turn, you know what I'm saying? And so Life would speak. Cruz would speak.
Yeah.
And so it was like, and so as Reach, we said the same. We were like, hey, before the concert, all right, so hey, Sho, you get this one. So during that, then all right, so you're gonna spill, and we called it spill because that's what they called it. Hey, who's gonna spill? Who's gonna spill at the end? Like, all right, man, I'm feeling it today, bro. I'm really gonna say this, da da da. It was just as important as the concert.
Even that though, y'all taking on different attributes from cross movement or from the generation before, and the generation before passing down some things and bringing people in, wanting to bring your team on. Like, I don't know if we necessarily see that same thing. And I think even the artists today, the young dudes would say, bro, I didn't have a cross movement that they were putting me on, and then I was like, oh, I want to do it like them, and they just started doing it, you know?
Yeah, and I think there's a reason for that. I think because as we began to grow in stature, the unfortunate aspect of growth and impact and notoriety is you begin to protect your name, you protect your brand, and you protect the things around you, and you're not as charitable with things unless it's a business opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's lost. And so now the other thing that I think was beneficial, I'm not saying it was better, but it could be beneficial, is that in order for you to get to a particular place of national notoriety, you had to have a local following. Like, people need to see, like, are people in your local church, other churches around, are they messing with you? And if they were, then they like, all right, well then these folks vouch for you, not only for your music, for your, the brand, but as a human being. Now you don't need vouching. You can go straight from your living room to national notoriety. Nobody knows your life. Nobody knows if you're a solid person. And I think we've lost the art of needing community in many different ways, and it's hurtful. So
that's good.
I want to shout out some honorable mentions. One that I don't know if anybody knows.
The truth.
God Sent. Old school, like not old school, but like one of the early 2000s, and he put out some albums. And his album Isaiah 55 was one of my favorite albums growing up, and he was dope.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him, but I know.
I know.
Are you about to throw another one?
Well, I'm about to throw two more just that I read in the comments. One, Instruments of Mercy by Beautiful Eulogy. Yes. Amazing. And I never thought I would like that music. I didn't listen to that kind of music. And when I first heard it, I hated it. I came back when I was older and listened to it, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're beasts. And Jamila is right. The Whole Truth, that album is a fire album. That is an amazing album.
See, now that I'm thinking about it,
we got to bring up Moment of Truth too, though. We got to bring up Moment of Truth.
So Moment of Truth is mine.
Moment of Truth.
That album was amazing.
Yeah.
I know it's time, so we're gonna have to wrap this up in like 5 minutes. I realized I forgot. I would probably say Propaganda's. So I like his art. I like Art Ambidextrous.
That was
I love
crazy.
Crimson Chord, but I would probably say Excellence is probably my favorite album of his. I'm gonna throw out my favorite artists real quick. Here's my top 5 and a couple honorable mentions. Swoop is easily number 1. I would say the Cross Movement, and I'm not gonna give anybody outside of Cross like give. So I'm just gonna say the Cross Movement up there. I would say Andy Mineo. I would say Propaganda, and then just to be a little current, I would say I'm gonna throw Indie Tribe in there. The honorable mentions: Indie Tribe was battling with SO. Between SO and Indie Tribe, but then I would say The Truth, his music, Lecrae's, and then Jay Givens. I would say Jay Givens.
Oh,
Jay Givens was amazing. He was amazing.
Another one that I say
Amazing.
Soul Rebel by John Gibbs.
Yes,
that was one of. I love that album.
Yes,
that was a smooth album right there. So I gotta throw that in there. Yeah.
All right, here's I'm a name. We've named a bunch of artists, so I'm just gonna name one artist that I don't think we've mentioned, and he's from the era before Cross Movement. I feel like that era often gets forgotten.
Carmen?
No, I'm not gonna say Carmen.
For my time,
No, I'm not gonna say Carmen. When you talk to a lot of the people that was around in that era, this dude's name keeps coming up. So I'm not gonna act like I came up on him, but I definitely have gone back and listened to a lot of his stuff. But it's Soup the Chemist, like
Soup the Chemist.
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet Soup.
Yeah, producer, rapper. I mean, like this dude was like Kanye before Kanye, almost is what it feels like. You know,
Respect.
Yeah,
I forgot the album, but I had an album of his, and I'll tell you another person in that space that I would say was probably for many years in my top 5 was Macho and Elsie and his sister. I forgot the group that they had, but I remember loving them. But as he was talking about kind of like deep cuts, there was this dude, and I can't remember his name, but if I throw these details, maybe you'll be able to help me out. He came out. He was around the time of and we're about to shut it down. I'm sorry, we're about to shut it down. I know. I got the team is here. Like, show, we're done. We're over.
The type A's.
Yeah, I know. The people who like to have fun, we're still like, hey, let's continue this thing.
Right.
The other folks is like, I don't listen to Christian hip hop. It's time to end that. If you were talking about Beyonce, we can stay here for another. Yep, I'm looking at you. So it was a brother who he had one album, and he stopped doing Christian music, but he became a police officer. I think he lived in Atlanta. You know,
you talking about Truth's Man? He was on Truth album.
Yeah,
I know you talk about
his album.
Oh man,
fire.
hold up. I'm about to. He was on the early. I'm gonna tell you who it is. Hold up.
Gospel Gangsters. I remember.
Corner.
Oh gosh, no, I wasn't Say Loud. Say Loud Corners.
You talking about Shabak? Come on, memory.
There you go.
Shabbat.
Hey, I'm about to
That
go.
is crazy.
I'm about to go see if his album's on streaming services.
I don't know, man. That's like that dude
If it is,
disappeared off the
text it to
face
me.
of the
I never
earth,
heard
I
bro.
will. So, I mean, there's a lot of folks we didn't mention who are fire. I had a I see Jackie Hill.
Yep.
Much love to like Mahogany Jones, Erica Kumbo. Some sisters out there. Chosen out in St. Louis.
Angie Rose.
Yeah. So anyway,
Rose.
I'm not gonna tell. I had a Gospel Gangster story. I met them. Actually, it was Tyrese. Tyrese had a little cafe opening in Cali many years ago, and Gospel Gangsters. They was about that street life.
Emphasis on the gangsters.
The Lord was still redeeming them.
Oh man, that's good.
Praise God, because they had some fires. I remember one lyric from the only lyric I can remember right now is I go to church and tithe with big face hunnits. Hey, wait on, man.
And they was getting it. They was getting it. It was tithing with street money. That sounded like they was tithing with street money right there.
Big face hunnits. Hey, man, bless you, bro. It has been a privilege to how can we stay in touch with you? What are just share some things that you're doing so that the people
absolutely
check in.
So yeah, a couple things. I have a daily radio show on Sirius XM channel 140, Holy Culture Radio. Come on from 6 to 8.
I love the Holy Culture Radio. Been doing it for a while.
Long time.
Holy Culture's been holding it down from being a what is it? Like a board, not a board. What I'm trying to say, like
message board. Yeah, it's a message board. Yeah,
from being a message board to now, look at us. See what happens when there's consistency. Not so much talent, but just consistency.
Yeah,
that's crazy. that was shade.
I was just joking.
That's a little shade. That's a little shade. That's a little
all
shade.
talent. I'm just playing. Just
there's a little shade. There's a little shade.
Also, let's shout out Rapzilla while we're here. Rapzilla, shout out Rapzilla.
They also held it down.
Let's shout out Legacy Conference.
Hey.
Flavor Fest.
Hey.
Flavor Fest.
And you shouting out the institutions now.
Come on, that's
true. We didn't even get to. We don't got time, but the institutions too. There were some institutions that held up the culture for a while.
Hey, we got to do a number 2, Wado. Let me know. Text me and let me know when we can do this again. And then I'm gonna get B+ to jump on next time.
Yes, sir.
And, I'm gonna do it when we in Atlanta. I'm gonna be in Atlanta. I got a couple trips to Atlanta coming up. Seriously, we're gonna coordinate this. Yeah, one of them is on a Saturday too. So
okay. So other than the Daily Show on Sirius, what else?
Social media. I don't post as much. I've gotten the Sho Baraka disease where I don't post as much on social media as I used to. But
once you hit a certain level, you get to drop in when you feel like it.
That is not true.
Nah, everybody's supposed to be posting all the time, man. That's just the ruls now, man. It's just
everybody needs to take a break too, because some
you do need a break. I'm actually on a break from social right now. I got one more week.
I hear you.
But yeah, so yeah, but that's it,
back. What are those socials?
At DJ Wado, Twitter, I am DJ Wado, Instagram and Threads. But yeah, I'm on TikTok too.
Are people on Threads still? I mean, like, do I need to be on Threads? Because
it's working for some people.
Got you.
I don't put a lot of stock into it because Twitter, I still get more action on Twitter, but I post stuff on Threads periodically.
Does your wife know you're getting action on Twitter?
Not that kind of action, man.
Okay. I didn't know if you was trying to use.
Come on, man. My wife.
That's bad culture.
That's bad culture.
No, not that.
All right.
Not that kind of.
On that note.
Hey, thank you so much, Wado, man. God bless.
Love y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for having me.
Dope for the culture.
Appreciate that, bro.
All right, man. This was a blessing. This was lovely. I had way more fun than I thought I was gonna have.
Yeah, for real.
Yo, y'all go out there and support Christian hip hop. Support the people who don't want to be considered Christian hip hop. Still support them too. I remember
Chucky J Gaming said, "Thanks for doing this, gents. I'm gonna go revisit these albums," and that's something that I think was an unintended consequence. Like, we weren't necessarily trying to get people to re-listen to albums, but re-listen to stuff. Maybe it'll restoke people's affections for the culture, for the music, for the things that are being talked about in those albums. So that's dope.
Yeah, absolutely. My man Ben Monroe said this was dope. Was supposed to be here today, but he's a terrible human being.
That's crazy.
Just playing.
You got a diss track for him too?
I got a diss track for Ben. I got Shad. You got one? Shad got one lined up. I'll tell you, if you do one thing wrong to me, I got a diss track. You didn't rap today, so guess what? You got a diss track coming.
Word.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll come back with one.
We love you. Be joyous. Do good.